Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are not at the farm today. We are actually at our daycare property, which honestly, it's about to make us go under. It is causing a lot of financial hardship right now for our family, and we're not sure what's going to happen if we don't get this place sold. It has been 2 years of us trying to get this place sold. Thought we've had something worked out. We haven't. Everything fell through, and now we don't really know what the future holds for us because it's expensive. It is really expensive to maintain this place. And we'll tell you a little bit more about that later and kind of the issues that we've run into with it. But we've got to go get it cleaned up first because trying to sell a property, if it is a mess, I mean, nobody wants to look at it. So we're going to get it cleaned up and then take you inside for a little tour because this is kind of a different thing. We've never shown you the inside of this building before. Actually, I don't know if we've ever been out here with you before. But we're going to take you around and show you the property and explain why it's caused so much trouble here lately and see what you guys can do to help us because we need your help figuring this out.
The sponsor of today's video is Wild Badger Power. They were nice enough to send us their upgraded model of their 4-in-1 multi-tool. We showed you the old model before, which used two 20-volt batteries. Well, their newest one uses one single 40-volt battery. So if you have some of their other tools like their lawnmower or chainsaw, same battery for the same one. You don't have to have a bunch of messy chargers, cords, and stuff like that. A single battery will run all these different tools, which is really great for us when we have a lot of their equipment. The great thing about this includes a weed eater, a brush cutting blade, a hedge trimmer, and a pole saw. So no matter what kind of job you're trying to do, this is the tool for you. We're fixing to put it together and demonstrate, kind of show you how easy it is to change out these attachments and then show you how each one of them work. Okay, so this is their 40-volt battery. Like I said, it's real simple to put in. You just slide in here, it snaps into place. It's got a safety on the trigger so that you don't accidentally bump it when you're trying to do stuff, but you just push this forward, mash it, it engages it. This is the great part. When you're changing out all these different attachments, it's real easy. You just slide them in here. You pull out this little peg here. They slide into place. That snaps in. You lock them in. You are ready to get to work. So I'm fixing to go put on some boots, and we're going to show you the weed eater and then move on to the other attachments as well. Okay, although this is super lightweight, which means you're not going to get near as tired as using it, they also have this handy dandy harness where if you want to do that for some extra support, you can snap that on. I prefer to use without it, so we're not going to use it. Maybe with the pole saw I'll use it just to help balance, but we're fixing to get started with this thing. So this is the weed eater attachment. Show you how good it works. So as y'all saw, even in this really tall grass, this weed eater trimmed that grass really quick and easy. Even cutting through, like over here, we've got some dirt mounds from ants. It even cut through those really well. So really impressed with this. We're fixing to move on to the brush cutter, show you how it works, and then we'll try out the other attachments too. So we all have those pesky areas that have some of these woody plants or just that gets overgrown, that string trimmer is just not quite strong enough. And that's where this brush cutter comes in handy. It takes out this stuff pretty effortlessly, and we're fixing to show you that. The good thing about it is, even though it's a little bit smaller in diameter than the string trimmer, it takes out the grass too. I mean, you can pretty much clean out a whole area with it. You don't have to swap out between attachments. Now we'll bring our string trimmer back here to finish cutting this out, but I just wanted to show you that if you have an area that has some grass and some heavy stuff, you don't have to swap out every time. If you want to just go ahead and knock it out with a blade, you can do that. Keep on cutting. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of limbs we need to cut here, but just to show you this, we're going to cut a couple off right over here. And as you can see, we did a bunch of different sizes there, and it just cut right through them. Like I said, we may have a few more a little bit later for this cleanup, but I think that's going to be it for right now. We're fixing to get started with the hedge trimmer. Okay, we're fixing to give this hedge trimmer a shot. These bushes that are hanging over actually belong to the neighboring property, but they don't keep them trimmed back, so we're going to see if we can't just carve them up along with the fence to keep them off of here. Yep. Main thing is just keep them off our fence. Like I said, if they're up higher, it's not a huge deal. But we just don't want them hanging on the fence. That way they don't tear it up over time. But yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. So there's a quick overview and demo of the 4-in-1 multi-tool from Wild Badger Power. We really thank them for giving us the opportunity to try this out. Be sure to check out their link in the description below if you'd like to buy one of these or check out any of the other products. They make a lot of great stuff, and we have a lot of their products, so we'd recommend every one of them that we've ever tried. We're fixing to give these tools a run for their money and a hard workout. So stick around to the end of the video to see how the property looks after we use all these tools to get it cleaned up.
So, okay, here's the actual front of the building. And this is kind of tall here. Kevin actually came down with the bush hog yesterday and got the playground areas so they wouldn't be quite as bad to kind of get a jump start on it. But as you can tell, it was pretty tall. Let me bring you over here to the road. It's not as bad this time as it was before because the last time it just like grew up super tall overnight basically. Yeah, he's over here mowing the front of the building area just to get all that knocked down because it's been pretty tall. So as we've told you before, we did operate a daycare center here for several years, but we had to close a couple of years ago due to a lot of issues with my health, plus a few other factors, but we've been trying to sell it for 2 years now, which a little disheartening that it has been 2 years. It's actually priced really far below market value, but we're still having trouble selling it, which is really absurd to me. But I don't know, things happen. God has a plan, always does. So we'll just continue to maintain it. For now, we're just gonna work on the outside and, like I said, let you see the transformation. All right, we've got the best stick picking up crew that you could ask for. They are perfect for this job, aren't you girls? Y'all are great at this. Hey, there's some more over here. Let's get these. Y'all are doing great. Yeah, there's just so many because this tree right here, if there's a bad windstorm or anything like that, there's always some limbs that fall. That one actually has one that's kind of hanging a little funny, but it's fine for now. Do you need help, Iz? Y'all get that one together. Oh, look at y'all. Y'all have the best teamwork, I will tell you. I love it. It's really, really awesome that these girls like to come out here and help because this is a big job, and hate that we've still got the property, so they have to help with this, but at the same time, I'm really glad that they understand that it takes all of us to make everything happen. This area where I'm walking right now, I have to be careful because there were posts in the ground. This is where our playground equipment was. Thankfully, a little earlier this year, we were able to sell the playground equipment because it was practically brand new at the time. And that's kind of helped cover some of our costs because, I mean, mortgages are expensive. I think everybody understands that one. And this is the worst of it. Yeah, this is crazy. Hey, you're gonna need some help. Hang on, baby. Let's do that one together. Wow, y'all are strong. Hang on. Let's open this up.
think about grabbing that other push mower before we came down here until we got here and you said, oh, the mower won't fit in that one.
Yeah. I wish I'd have thought about that because that would have been perfect.
Brought it down here.
Yeah. We'd have been already done with this part by now.
But I guess we got the next best thing.
Yes, absolutely. Look at that difference.
It looks a lot better. We still got a little bit of trash to pick up because for some reason, even though we're not always here, there's always new trash here to pick up. So I don't know if it's blowing it off the road or what, because this little side road has, it's mostly local traffic, but it has quite a bit. But I think it looks a lot better than it did.
Absolutely.
You could definitely tell whenever I was mowing by the number of times I had to go over it. Part of it was because it was extra tall and wet, but I also need to sharpen my blades, I now see, because there's some of it I had to go over 3 times to get it to where it looked decent.
Yeah, we're toward the end of mowing season though, so maybe we won't have to come up here and do this too much more.
Yeah, I'll probably sharpen the blades and then just replace them in the spring.
Yeah.
But that way they're not just sitting over the winter like that. But did really well. Like I said, the fences look good.
Yes.
I think the best part is this little playground over here because it was so grown up. And like I said, I forgot to bring a push mower to take care of it because until you said, oh, the mower won't fit, I didn't think anything about it. Probably should have rethought those gates, but we just went in with what was here before.
Yeah, if we'd have really thought about it, we'd have had a wide gate here.
We could have done a wide gate or double gates going into that other one, then we could have just shot up in there, but
yeah.
I still think it looks really nice. Got all that stuff off the fence over there.
Yeah, that looks great.
I mean, all those different tools we were able to use just really worked out nicely.
Absolutely. I think it looks great.
Yeah, still got to clean off some pine needles off the roof. It's funny, we don't have a single pine tree on this property, but we catch all the neighbors.
Yeah.
Leaves a mess to clean up and fills up the gutters. We've got screens on top, but still with the pine needles, they get stuck down in there and just cause a mess. So each year I have to go and clean them all off. I was just trying to wait until maybe some more fell, but there's already so many, I don't know if I'm going to be able to wait.
Yeah.
But we're going to head inside and tell you all the troubles we've had with this property and try to see if you can help us figure out what we need to do to fix it.
All right, so we are inside. This was our little, well, it was a lunchroom at one point, then it just became like our front room area, greeting room, because like there is the front door. Then you come through this door here. There was a staff bathroom there. And we've got bathroom, and the kitchen, which I've got a few things I had to use for the fair kitchen whenever I was working that. I just grabbed some stuff from here. And this huge classroom. This was our pre-K classroom. And we had a lot of kids when we were here because we had a really good program. But like you can see, we actually redid all the floors when we owned it, and we painted the walls and all that. So, I mean, it looks really nice, I feel like.
Yeah, all the floors are luxury vinyl, commercial grade, so except for the carpet tiles. They're commercial carpet tiles too.
Yeah, this was our
toddler?
Not really toddler, like waddler type room, which was just above the baby stage, starting to toddle around before they're actually toddlers. They had their own bathroom because some of them potty trained. And we actually put this window in here. This was the baby room. All right, this is the toddler room. It was a pretty sizable room, and we kind of did a neat little design with the floor whenever we had the carpet put in. And they had their bathroom too. There's the office. Still have a bunch of stuff stacked up in there.
Storage closets on each side.
Yep. Then this goes into more bathrooms. Big storage area in here. We actually had like a table and everything for the teachers in this room. Laundry room area with washer and dryer. And then we kind of have some things stored in here, so don't mind the mess. But
this is the big gym area, and it was divided into a couple of classrooms.
Yeah, this was our preschool area, which is just below pre-K. So we had like after they left toddler room before they were ready for the pre-K stuff.
And this was the wall that the car drove through.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, they missed the curve on the highway and
yeah,
took out our wall.
And then this was the school age classroom. We actually it was just up to like right about where he's standing or so before, and then we expanded it that way we could take on more school agers because they changed the school days and school weeks here locally, and we wanted to accommodate more kids because more kids needed care. And it worked out really well. And then this place actually had an indoor gym. So that was really cool. This did, of course, stretch all the way across at one point, but we sectioned it off to create a bigger classroom over there and still have a sizable gym area.
Yeah, because the gym wasn't required for daycares. It was just a bonus thing that we had to offer. And so we were able to cut it down, and it still gave us enough room for them to have. If it was raining, they didn't have to stay in the classrooms. They could still come to the gym rather than just being stuck playing in the classrooms on rainy days or excessively hot days.
Yeah, and we have a lot of those excessively hot days here in Arkansas.
So now we get to the part where we need your help. No, we're not asking for money because we're doing fine financially in that essence for now. But what we do need is your help with some ideas. We are trying to figure out how to market this to get it sold. We currently have it priced a little more than 20% below the last appraised value. We're in a town that doesn't have a whole lot of industry, so there's just not a whole lot of demand to come out this way. We thought we had it set up. This area, there's a lot of problems with drug use and stuff like that, like in this whole general region, not just necessarily this specific area, but we had an organization reach out that was trying to get a grant because they wanted to turn this into like a transitional living facility. They were going to take the gym area section off into individual housing units. Applied for a grant a couple of ways. They've been denied, but when they tried to get some guidance on what they need to do, the place that was issuing the grant or whatever was not a whole lot of help.
No.
They thought they had talked to somebody else who had already gotten approved for a grant, thought they had everything lined out, but for some reason it still wasn't working. I don't know if it's just as rural as we are or what, but for some reason that couldn't go through, and we would love for this place to be something like that to give people a second chance and help them get going. We know that lots of people make mistakes or made bad choices in their lives and get to a point that they just need a helping hand to get that step on life to get in the right direction and try to move forward. They recently started a drug court in this area, and it's been doing really well for a lot of people. They've had a lot of success out of that program, and this was going to be an add-on to that to try to help people get a step farther. And they were going to have to like pay rent, but it's going to be a lower income rent, and they were going to have certain requirements they were going to have to meet to be able to live here. And it's going to help them transition to try to move back into life and just get out on their own and stuff like that. But since that fell through, we don't know if there's other funding sources or something like that. We would love to be able to just give this building to that organization to do that, but unfortunately we still have a mortgage on it, and we can't just give it away. We've hoped that something would come along where we could either sell it to them or work out something where they could use it for that reason, but we're just out of ideas and we need your help. So we either need a better way to market it and figure that out, or we need some ideas of some sort of business or industry or something that you think that we might be able to put here, because one way or another, this building either needs to sell or it needs to generate income. And right now it's doing neither. Like I said, we've got things we've got our finances in order where we're good for right now, but if it continues to go on, we may not be. Like I said, we're not even looking at that right now. We're just trying to brainstorm ideas because we are struggling to try to figure out what we might be able to do. Whenever they were in the process of trying to get the grants and stuff, we actually took it off the market for almost a year. We weren't really marketing it during that time because they were pretty sure they were going to be able to get it because the monies they were getting was for that kind of thing. But like I said, they couldn't get approved, so we're moving past that unless we can figure out some other funding source to get it where they can use it for that. So if y'all have any ideas, we would love to hear them. You can leave them in the comments if you're comfortable with that, or send us an email. Our email is always in the description. But anything you can do to help us with some ideas, we'd appreciate it. Like I said, we're not wanting your money, anything like that. Definitely not asking for that. We just want ideas because we have pretty much drained our brains of ideas. And I don't know, like I said, we would love to be able to do something like that. We're just not in a place where we could just pay off the mortgage and give it to them.
Yeah, not with the way things are going. I can't really, I mean, I'm not able to work like full time or a lot of hours because of my health and all that. Um, so, and I
And
mean,
her help was a lot of the reasons why we closed
close,
down.
yeah.
Because we actually, I mean, we were doing really well as a child care facility.
Hmm.
And like I said, it just got where she wasn't able to hold out, was having issues, and we just didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't share that time because we didn't know what all was going on because that was pre-surgery
yeah.
before we actually knew about that. And
Hmm.
so we just kind of closed down, and she went back to work part-time because that was a little less stressful and a little easier on her. So
Yeah,
we did that. And now we're just trying to figure it out because
yeah,
we had leased it out to another person who had put a child care facility here, but they owned other facilities in other cities. Were hands off. The people they put in charge did not run it right. We were getting complaints from parents all the
yeah.
time about things that were going on. We're like, look, we own the building, but we're leasing it to them.
Hmm.
We were a little too kind-hearted with them. They ripped us off for a bunch of money,
Hmm.
and then damaged some stuff that we had to fix after the fact. So here we are. But like I said, we're moving past that. And
Hmm.
just trying to figure out how to move this building and figure something out because in the long term, we're not going to be able to continue to do that. Not right now, not unless something miraculous happens.
Yes. But yeah, our town that we live in, I mean, it is very, very small. Um,
We don't even have a stoplight in the whole county.
no. And there's the way childcare is, there's not, I mean, there people need childcare, but like the school opened up another childcare center recently, and after 2020, there were a lot of people who it was not actually beneficial for them to return back to work instead of staying home with their kids. Which I mean, it's great when kids are home with their parents, but I mean, another childcare center here would not necessarily be, the most needed thing for this county.
Not unless it's some sort of specialized thing.
Yes.
Because there's been some micro schools and stuff opening up, and they've
Mm-hmm.
been doing really well.
Yes.
And this would be a perfect space for that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just don't know that with everything else going on that that's feasible. Like I said, the school started offering childcare, which helps some of the need. But the other thing is we're in a low income type area, and
Yes.
so some people may need childcare, but they can't really afford it, if that makes sense. So they're
Mhm.
kind of in that thing. And whenever we had it, we weren't paying just minimum wage because daycare is a hard job to do.
Yes.
And if anybody ever complained if they just go work in one for a day, they would
They would
realize
understand.
it is not easy. It takes
Yeah.
a lot to make things go. And
It really does.
like I said, we were making a good go at it. And it helped us do a lot of things. But looking back, I kind of wish we hadn't have done it.
Yeah.
It did. I don't know if things for us would have worked out the same had we not, though, because before that, she was working full time away from the home, and Abby was in school, and we were just. It helped us for her to break away, and then, like I said, she just went back part time, partially because of health now. But I just don't know that before. I mean, if your health might have made you, but I think if you're working full time, you may still have been. The girls may not have been
Yeah.
homeschooled, and
Mhm.
so it brought a lot of good things. But
Yes.
now it's a headache.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I mean, owning a building that you have no use for, it's definitely an odd place to be, and kind of I mean, it
Mhm.
is a strain, but it's a really odd place to be because you're like, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
Especially in this area that is so rural, and I mean, there's just not a lot going on. So, yeah, any ideas would be very, very much appreciated.
Yeah, and to kind of give an idea, it's like a couple miles outside of town. There's a Dollar General right up the road from it. It's by a lake. It's a fishing lake, not a recreational lake. And it's like a little over 6,000 square feet. So
Yeah.
it's got the big gym area and then the older building part. So it's got, I mean, it's a unique property, but I mean, that gives a lot of ideas. But we just cannot think of anything that might
Yeah.
make some money.
Yeah. Yeah. So, love to hear your thoughts on that. I know it's a lot to think about and try to mull over, but we just, sometimes seeing it from somebody else's point of view or having someone else look at the problem can help you kind of figure out a solution.
Definitely.
And since we've looked and we've thought and thought and thought for 2 years, we definitely need another perspective.
Yeah, because sometimes you can be too close to the problem that
Yes.
the answer could be right there, but you just can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all have given us a lot of good advice over
Absolutely.
the past and everything. So we figured, why not ask? Not going to hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't have any ideas, share this video and maybe somebody else will.
Yep, sounds good.
But I know this video is a little bit different than our normal, but it just was on our hearts to maybe share with y'all, and hopefully y'all have a good idea. We appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you next time on Crown's Family Farm. Bye.
Bye, guys.